So I show up to WrestleMania Hotel Sunday night after WrestleMania. So I found out Saturday night I'm going to Raw. So we watch WrestleMania all day knowing we're going to be on Raw tomorrow. And I get to the hotel after Mania's over, and the lobby is just riddled with all of the greats in pro wrestling because it's the WWE hotel. As I'm walking up to my room, because I'm debuting the next day, I'm not going to the WrestleMania after party. I have no desire to go drink or anything. I'm going to rehearse my promo. I don't know if I have a match, get hydrated and not dehydrated. And I see Stone Cold in the lobby at the bar, and he's with DDP. And so I walk over to say hello to Stone Cold, and I said, hey, man, and he just turned and popped for me. And at the time, Austin loved Enzo and Cass in NXT. So I just wanted to let him know I'm going to Raw tomorrow. If you don't mind, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. Maybe you could tune in. You know, it would be cool if I know that Stone Cold watches me debuting. So I went up to Stone Cold, and I just wanted to say, like, hey, man, can I get some advice? In the moment I asked Stone Cold for advice, mind you, there's a glass wall with a bunch of marks standing outside of the hotel who can all see inside the hotel lobby. You know, there's so many marks out there, like trying to get an eye view to see who's talking to who and I was hanging out with, at the time, my buddy Spiff TV, and he had brought The Weeknd and his manager Cash with him, because in NXT I was really close with this guy named Spiff TV, and I still am. He's one of my best friends. But Carlos, this guy Spiff, is a big wrestling fan, but he's all up in the music scene. So he brought Cash with him to WrestleMania, who's The Weeknd's manager. Bro, for an hour, Stone Cold looked at me and went, you're debuting tomorrow? Bing! Laser beam, sucked me right in. I was sitting there, and he just wouldn't look at anyone else in the whole bar the night after WrestleMania for like an hour straight giving me advice. And it was gospel. But the gist of this advice was pretty much like DTA, get your in, pull no punches, and if you're going against the Dudleys tomorrow, them. Do whatever the you think is necessary to get yourself over. Don't even think about them at all. Them. And this is Stone Cold talking to me. Right? He said, they had their time. It's your time. Go take it. And I'm like, holy. Meanwhile, DDP is standing there the whole time just watching this happen with his buddy Ken. Now, Ken, I know now. I met Ken like 3 years ago. And he was like, hey, man, I was there that night when you talked to Stone Cold for like an hour. And he wouldn't. So here's the reason why I'm bringing this story up. When this happens, remember that night at Mania, Shane McMahon fell off the top of the cage and through the table with Undertaker. And the first time I saw Shane since then was he came through the curtain at Gorilla. And he pushed a few people out of the way, me being one of them, so he could puke in a trash can right after he got done with that. Could you imagine never wrestling for years and then going out there jumping off that cage? Like, his body was just probably in shock. So I think he went and got an IV. He was fine, right? But like, bro, he came through the curtain and he just like, that was the first time I meet him. I'm almost like, hey, oh my God, move. He pukes in a trash can, right? I'm like, so now I'm in the hotel after that night talking to Stone Cold, and Shane McMahon walks up. And Shane McMahon is standing behind Stone Cold, and Stone Cold is dead set on talking to me. And I'm like, I've never met Shane. This is the boss of the company's son. Like, how do I tell Stone Cold that Shane McMahon is waiting to talk to him for about 10, 15 minutes with his kids and his wife? I'm not joking. It's getting very awkward. And DDP is standing there, and I feel him looking at me and Austin. But Austin is so gunned in on giving me this, like this great advice. And I'm just like, trying not to be rude to Shane, but at the same time, I'm taking the advice. And finally, I kind of like break, and I'm like, hey, Austin, like, I want to tell him that Shane's there. And he goes, son, shut the up and look at me and while I'm trying to teach you how to get over. Now, I'll never forget the words that he said was, shut the up while I'm teaching you how to get over. While I'm teaching you how to get over. That's what he says, right? And DDP will attest to this. So I'm standing there and I'm like, okay. So I just shut the up. And he goes on for another 10 or 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden he goes, hey, Shane, how are you, brother? He knew he was there the whole time, bro. He was big leaguing him. He was big boying him. He was being stone cold. But I'm just a young boy, not realizing what's going on. And to this day, like the most awkward, weird, wildest scenario to find yourself in.